Good day, good evening, everyone, or good morning by the time you get this video. All right, so I didn't drop my video like I normally do. What I generally created Sunday night going into Monday. However, Good Friday. So I normally get my dividends on a Friday night by Robinhood. And so being that there was a Good Friday, I didn't get them until today and didn't get them until this evening around 7-ish, I guess that was. But anyway, we're here. And we're going to probably either drop this as soon as I finish or it'll drop Tuesday morning at 6. Okay. So in this video, we're going to hit our financial quote. Then we will proceed to review our Robinhood portfolio with our dividends that we got paid. We will hit our Excel spreadsheet, touch on the YieldMax website, and we will do our snowballanalysis.com website. And then we would conclude with our Q&A. And I'm going to try and include the Q&A that didn't have audio to it, so that we'll have that this time around. All right. So let's get started. All right. So our financial quote, let's see here. All right. It's by John Rampton. It says, don't let money run your life. Let money help you run your life better. Don't let money run your life. Let money help you run your life better. And that's all everybody wants to do, right? So let's see what they got down here as a style tip. Money is your resource, not your master. True. Because if it's your master, then you are in love with your money. Some of you may love your money, but you shouldn't. It should be used as a tool. It says you have the power to decide what controls your thoughts, your actions, and your life. Isn't that so empowering? This quote by John Rampton reminds us to look at money as a tool to get us where we want to go, support the causes close to our hearts, and care for those we love. How will you use money to make your life better or those around you better? All right, I agree with those sentiments. All right, so let's get started. All right, so right now on Monday, this is normally a Sunday night. Live, we are down $54. For the day, we're up $316. For the week, we're up $568. For the month, we are down $6,786. For the 3 months, we are down $31,238. Year to date, we're down $21,563. For the year, for the past year, we're up $11.95. That's nice to see some green. And all time, we are down $6,208. All right. All right, so let's look at our margin here. You can see here we have no cash. We have a total margin of 48,982. We have borrowed on margin 35,925. Okay. All right. You can see our buffer is at 3151 for almost 10%. And this is not a complete green, so it's getting to that, I guess, what they would say, hey, warning. But anyway, we're still good, I think. So we don't have any more severe rips in this market or dips in this market, which we will, I'm sure. All right, so Dogecoin. My value right now is at over 1,200. We're down $481. Our average cost is 22 cents for over 7,500 shares. All right, so we're going to hit Coney and Misty, our big positions. All right, so you can see Coney closed the day at 736. Our market value is at 44,687, and we are currently down. We're currently down $34,642. So average cost of $13.06. We still got 6,072 shares. Let's go ahead and hit our last dividend. Our last dividend with Coney was back on April the 4th for 6,072 shares. We got $2,660.14. Okay. Our next one will be Misty. 2138 is where it closed at the day. Our market value is at $16,060. We're down $4,308. Our average cost is at $27.12. So when they sold off, I think it was 200 shares, because my average cost was around 25. Now it's at 27.12. Let's see here. Where did I see that? Oh, it's my power. All right. So let's see here. All right. So on April 11th, we had 1,000 shares at that time before they sold off, and I sold off 49 or 51 shares myself. All right. So that was at $1.34. Excuse me. So that's $1,335.60. All right. So let's hit this week dividend payout, which was actually for last week, but because of the holiday, they're going to pay it out on Monday. So actually, we're going to get paid twice this week. Well, we did get, yes. So today we got paid Group A, which normally would have been last week, but because of the holiday, it's this week. Group A, but this week is officially Group B. Now, so let's see if I got that pulled up right quick. Right. So this is Group A for YieldMax. We got paid out Tesla and these, but this is actually the week here for Group B, which is going to be NVIDIA, dip, and so forth. All right. So, all right. So this week we got YieldMax. YieldMax is at 1239 right now, or close at the market. All right. We have $619. We're down $159 for 50 shares at an average cost of $15.59. All right. So, see where we at right here. All right. So today, I believe that's today, right? Yes. Today we had 50 shares at 1334. So that gave us a dividend payout of $6.67. All right. Next on the list, we got OT. OT closed at 553. We have market value at 2212. We're down 1435. Our average cost is 912 for 400 shares. All right. All right. So 400 shares at 0.0852 gave us $34.08. All right. Next, we got YBIT on the list. YBIT closed at 1010. We have a market value of $662, $626, excuse me. We're down $249. And we have an average cost of $14.13. And our total shares of 62. Okay. Check our dividends. Did we go past it? Yes, we did. All right. So on the 21st, we had 62 shares, 41.11. We got paid $25, excuse me, and 48 cents, 25.48. We're going to get it right here, people. Bear with me. All right. And last this week, Tesla closed at 708 today. You can see in the aftermarket it's showing is up 4 cents. All right. So our market value is 1274. We're down $837 for 180 shares for average cost of $11.73. Okay. Ready? Let's get to our dividend. All right, so the 21st, 180 shares at $65.98. We got paid $118.76. Okay. All right. Now let's go to our spreadsheet. Excel spreadsheet. All right. All right. So we're the month of April. Yes, that's what we are. I see something I didn't do, but it'll be on the next week's. All right. So our active income is at 1910 for April. Our dividend for the month of April, a passive income. Last week we was at 44.12.55 with our dividend. We are now at 45.97.54. All right. So our total active income right now is $15,007.76. Our total passive income stands at $24,314.63. We're almost in total dividends about where we ended last year. I think last year we going from what, September, October, November, December. I think it was $28,000. So we're almost there. All right. So our average active income is at 3751, and our average passive income is just over $6,000. And of course, this is all our debt consisting of HELOC, credit cards, and personal loans. Yes. Okay. All right. A Robinhood Gold year to date right now, we've paid $20 for Robinhood Gold. Our total interest on our margin that we borrowed over the past 4 months, total interest is $883.46 for an average of $220.87. Our Robinhood margin as of now stands at, that is incorrect. It should, what is that? I think that, go back to Robinhood. I think we're at 35, right? Is that right? I must have not. No, it's 35, 9, 22, 37. I must have undid it because I thought I keyed that in. But anyway, so what was that? 35. Write that down so I don't jump back and forth. 35, 9, 22, 37. 35, 9, 22.37. Okay. All right. All right. So this is our total margin as of right now, 35, 9, 22, 37. It has been as high as $53,000 or $55,000 at one time. This is our outstanding balance, our 401k loan. And here is our total debt. All right, so our total debt stands at 2,040. That is a whopper. All right, it stands at $243,770.53. All right, so that is down from $260,322. All right, so this is our interest year to date that has been charged on these outstanding balances, and that total is $8,500. Okay, so 8507.38 divided by 4, we're averaging about $2,100 in interest. Not good, not good. So we're trying to get this margin down. So, and what we're doing is we're just letting the dividend pay out each month, bring this down. So when we get down to maybe 20 to 25, I'll start to withdraw on maybe 1,000, anywhere from 1,000 to maybe $2,500 every month, and start reducing these over here. Right? Because Robinhood is charging me 5.75, right? And so I'd rather get charged 5.75 on 35, right? Than to get charged um, these interest amount on this amount. So I'm going to quit accruing that. All right. So far we haven't made any deposits in our Robinhood account, and we haven't made any withdrawals in March and so far in April. Right. So that's where we stand with that. Okay. All right. Next, let's see here. Next, we're going to visit this. This is YieldMax. This is a website created by a YouTuber, named Amy, and her channel is Bad Financial Decisions. She created this. She's very smart. And what she did is she said, hey, so if you decide you wanted to invest, let's say 30,000, right? And YieldMax, Ulti will give you $440 for that week. 1909 for the month, and annual projection would be about 22,000, almost 23,000. And how does she does that? She takes the amount that I keyed in, which was 30,000, times not times, but the last time the price, which was the 23rd. No, that's the next declaration day. But this was the last week's declaration day. Dividend payout, not decoration. I'm sorry. I'm going to get it right here, people. All right. So this is what it paid out the last time, and it was the price at that time. And so she's basing this 30,000. That would give me 5,172 shares or additional shares. 440. That's the distribution amount. So these charts are showing, as you can see here, the distribution amount. And then this is the closing price. So does she have the date here? Let's see here. That is April the 16th. Yes, April the 16th. And this is what it was, and that was the price. So that's how it's figured. So the price actually at the close went up. But it's come down just about. Okay. All right. So that's what you can do on any of your positions that she has here. You can see what you will get paid out weekly and monthly and annually. Now, you can come over here and choose the theme. Say you want to do a single stock thing, it would list those. If you wanted to purchase your ETF based on technology, she lists those. If you want it on crypto, it would list those. All right. And if you say, well, I just want to buy ETFs that are from NEOs. This is the NEOs listed one. Now this one, CSHI. See that right there? It's a T-bill. And I think I saw this on one of her videos. I think it was, or someone else's I was watching. And I said T-bill. I said, oh, let me go check that out. NEOs. All right. So NEOs, 52 week range is range from $48 to $50. So it hasn't dropped and it hasn't gone beyond 50. It might have opened I'm sure it opened around $50. But you can see the inception was almost 3 years ago. So from 48 to 50, the day range. And I say that because, all right, so this one is 49.52. All right, let's look at the dividend payout. All right, so it's saying 5.5%, right? But we're looking at 21 cent, 22 cent, 25 cent, 27. And the price is $49. And I say that because this is something you can use it as a holding place for your money, or you can just leave it in the account if it pays out interest. But you can use this as a holding place for your your money once you get it paid out. Um, hold in place. So you got your dividend. Say you got 2,000 in dividend paid out for the month. You can take that 2,000, put it in here as a holding place until you decide what you want to do with that, or you can just leave it in your brokerage account, and they're probably paying out close to this, but probably not 5.7%, probably just a little bit short, less than that. And I say that because let's do this. Because this is Neil's, right? And this says T-bill. I know Round Hill has a T-bill, and it's called Week, I believe. Week. See? T-bill. All right? And it's fluctuated, and it ain't been out that long since March, right? But it's been between $98 and $100, despite however the market has been, right? All right. But let's check out the dividends, right? So it's saying point like a 0.5%, right? So it's been out since March, and it's paid 6 cents, 8 cents, 7 cents, 7 cents, right? And it's $100. See, that's what I look at. I look at cheapest price, the highest yield. So, and this was going to be something that I was going to consider using as a holding place. But the other week, I saw Neo's T-bill, and it's half the price, right? Half the price of Round Hill. And it pays out more per month than Round Hill. You get what I'm saying? So it's 7 cents, right? It would take 3 months to get what you would want for this 27. Because 3 times 27 is what, 21, right? But you're also getting it at half the price. So you're actually getting more, in my opinion. I ain't did the math on that. But just common sense and looking at it, I can pay twice the amount and buy this and get paid way less. Where I can take $100 and get 2 shares and get paid out 21 cents around that price. See? So just putting it on your radar. That's something I'm thinking about when I get more established. I'm working on it. Now, where was I? Oh, we was on YieldMax, right? So that's what I'm saying. And then she's got them by the actual name of the stocks, right? The ETF. Or, oh, these are going to probably be the company's name, like Google, Meta, Inverse, so Palantir, Tesla, Tesla. These are all the ones, and this is not sure who that one's with. Does it say here? Tesla ETF. See who that is. All right, so this is by Round Hill. I think it's that weekly pay. Yep. So let's check out their distributions. All right. So this is what they've done since they've started. 37, 51, 29. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the features she's got. So if you click on, I know that one. This one is probably going to be Defiance, maybe. No, it's by Curve. All right, so Curve is at 19. You click on that. It brings you over here. And you can come here and look at the distribution amounts, read all this data that they have out here, see what the holdings consist of. All right, so you can see what they've done with Curve version of that. All right, so enough of that. Let's move on. All right, so next, let's get rid of that. U.S. stock futures climb as Trump amps up pressure on the Fed. All right, so let's take a look at that right quick. This was today's publication. Okay. All right, so Tesla reporting earnings with brand sales trouble. Big tech earnings could reveal if stock have more room to fall. All right, so here's the features where we're at right now. All right, let's move on. All right, so like I was saying earlier, Group A was paid out today for this week, but this is actually Group B's week, and these will be announced on Wednesday. And I will drop a video that Wednesday morning if nothing holds me up, and we'll see what the payout will be for these positions. All right. Now, if you want to buy, because I mentioned NEOs, right? So if you're interested in other ETFs, other hedge fund managers that are got high yields, I got a list of them here. I pulled them up. We got Rec Shares. They got FEPI or FEPI and API, CEPI. These are some ETFs that are by Rec Shares. You can check those out, see if you like them. Do your due diligence on them. All right, next we got Defiance. They got ETFs here. We got QQQQY, WDTE, IWMY, and so forth, right? All right, next we got NEOs. Remember, I just mentioned that one that I just showed you on their ETF, which was, where is it at? Right here. Enhanced Income Treasury. So they got another one. TLTI. Let's check it out right quick. TLTI. Oh, this is Treasury. It's not a T bill, but it's a Treasury. All right. So, all right, it's at $46. It's fluctuated in the past 52 weeks from 44 to 51. Dividends are paying out. They're averaging about 25 cents a month since December. Okay. All right. So these are Treasury bonds. All right. So we got Treasury bonds and we've got, where is it at? Treasury bonds and T-bill. So if you're interested in those, that's what we got. Treasury bonds and T-bills. And then you got your high income alternatives. This is Bitcoin, real estate, enhanced bonds, enhanced income credit. And then you got your hedge equity income and equity high income. Okay. All right. Check those out if you like. Curve. A lot of people are definitely loving these curves because they're holding their value as far as the NAV is concerned. All right. So check those out when you have some spare time. Do your own due diligence. See if you like them. I'm not telling you to buy either. I'm not just showing you what I'm doing, baby. All right. Round Hill. All right. Round Hill has income. These are weekly ETFs, except for, I believe, ETH. And all these are weekly, if I'm not mistaken. Could be mistaken. And then they got these here, which are weekly pairs. These are, I can't remember what these were. I don't know. But then you can read about it. I'm just bringing it to your attention. All right. So we got yield shares showing the funds. Let's see here what they got. I thought they had some top funds. Here are the ETF, Bitcoin, high yield savings. All right. All right. Next, we got Yield Boost or Granite Shares has their ETFs. Talking about the different commodities. Yield Boost. You got these here. I don't know too much about them, but I'm just sharing this information with you because you may like these better than YieldMax. All right. Next, we got snowball analysis. Let's hit it. All right. It's got annual growth. Categories, class. Doesn't have any data there. All right, future payments. So it's saying for the next 12 months, we should have about $51,000 in dividend. Right now, we're averaging about, well, I guess this will be a future amount too, 4,200. All right, so it's showing here what's been paid out in the month of April. And I have YBTC. Well, I did have it, but I don't have it anymore. All right. So the only thing that's going to pay out again for me will be OT and YieldMax, because I believe those are weekly. All right. So the month of May, they're projecting me to get about $6,200. All right. So this is January payout. What we got. This is February. Let's go back. 56. You can see the different ones. Coney, Misty. February did pretty good, about 7,300. Excuse me. All right, March, that's where we were, 54. And well, let's go back. All right, so that's 56, 73, and 54. Let's go back here. So 63, 79, 54. That's pretty close. All right, so dividends received in Coney. So I have received, I won't even say just year to date, but this will be since September, August of last year, right? So far I've received here $29,517 for 57.83 from all dividends. Okay. Following up, Misty, Chesley, and the others are just too small to just be doing it, right? All right, so here's 2023. Well, let's do this. 2023, saying I got 24 cent. I'm not sure what I had at that time. 18 cent, 18 cent, 19 cent, and 21 cent. And then came along in not December, but 2024, and I heard about Yield Max, and I think I bought a few. You can see right here, probably in February. And it's probably was Coney. You can see here the progression. And I just put something in there, maybe a few $100 or $1,000 in there, right? And just testing the water, see how it flowed, right? And then in July, August, I made a move. You can see it increased. And then September, I know between September and September, I deposited $26,800 from my 401k. And boom, here we go. 2796. Here we go. October, 6,066. November, there we go. 92. 98. December, 84, 84, 92. And of course, you know, I thought coming into this year that, oh man, we was gonna be hitting that we was gonna be hitting it. 56, 73, 54, 45. This should be almost double going in there if it would stayed on the projection, but we all know how the market has been flowing. So this is where we at now. All right. All right, so here we have annual income. I believe this is going to be the projection of what they anticipate us getting. Because here you got estimated, declared, yet to receive, and paid. And we are on, let's see, I think we're on paid. Nope. Estimated, nope. Declared, nope. Yet to receive, yet. That was yet to be received. Okay. See, this is what we did last year, 28,000. You can see the continued progression, as I stated. And this is our dividend calendar. That was for last year, but let's see for this year. Look like everything's pretty much getting paid out on Fridays. Okay. This side of the way. All right. So you can see. And then it gives you an estimated amount for each week, right? 12, 3,500, 1,900, $221, 24. Yep. All right. Next, we got here. I'm sure this is probably what you all would like to see here. So we got Coney. Show the number of shares we have. Cost per share, cost basis $79,300. Current value, you can see the current value is a huge reduction. That should be this amount here, this $34,671. Well, let's just test that theory out. How about that? Let's move this over. All right, so if we had the 34,671.12 plus our current value of 44,629.20, bingo. Because I'm down 30. All right. So there we go. All right. So dividend yield is 60.8, and this is the yield on cost 34.22. So we receive in Coney so far from, let's say, September to now, $29,517. Our count is down in the whole 34,671. So our total profit, if you take the dividends received and add it to our capital gain, which is a negative, we are under 51.49. And that's I'm not complaining about that. To be down 34,000 and have a total profit of just being underwater $5,100. So if Coney does make some recovery, that'll be nice. But in the meantime, we'll still be getting paid, so it'll start continue to eat away at this if this doesn't continue to decrease in value. All right, with Misty, we had 1,000 shares. We now have 551 disappointing shares. Wish I still had my 1,000. It seems like every time I get 100 or 200 shares of Misty, I either sell it and to cover whatever, right? But this time I got margin call, and Robinhood for the first time actually sold some of mine off, and it sold off some of the highest margin requirement, which was AMC and Misty. All right, so Misty current value is at current cost basis is at $20,358. Current value is at $15,992. All right, dividends received is 15,000, so it's right there. So our next payout should almost put us above our current value. All right, so we're down 4,300 in this account, but we do have a realize of selling Misty at various times. We do have a realized profit of 1616. All right, so we're actually in total profit of 12,251. So, in another month or two, we will technically be in house money with Misty. All right, so you can see the other positions, but let's just get there. All right, so cost basis $116,408. We have total dividends received 50,538. Of course, when I showed you on that short video I did on Friday, it showed 50,000, I believe 800 and something, right? 860, I think. All right. So total profit overall, we have a positive $5,095. Even despite all this red that we're down a little bit, we're still in the positive. All right, so I wanted to show you this. This is Snowball Analysis Community. It shows you the top popular stocks right? And then it shows you other users' portfolios that you can view. But we're going to go to the ETFs. All right. So ETFs, Misty is in the top 5 of snowball analysis users. So there are 10.11% of users that own Misty. Most of them own SCHD. Oh, and SCHD can be a uh, uh, holding position as well if you want to store that once you get your dividends. All right, so here's an example of portfolios. So you got various ones here. Dividend growth, he's got 37% profit. He's got 35,000 as a value. This one has got 1.1 million. This one has got 3.5 million. This one, let's click on it. See what he or she is holding. All right, so they got AMD. Let's sort it by position. That guy, I've never heard of this one. They got 60,000 shares. Cost per share is 20 cent. Cost basis is 12,000. Current value, ooh, they're down a lot in this one. So I don't know if that's a dividend position or not. Next, see here, we recognize. We know SoFi. See if we recognize any of these as dividends. Some of you may recognize them as dividend positions. I don't oh, this one I do. Okay. So that's what that is. There's their dividend growth. So their portfolio is outperforming the S&P, right? Yeah, outperforming the invested is the purple, right? So what? All right. So here, that was here, and then all of a sudden they went here. So I don't know if they invested. Oh, let's see. Let's see if I can figure that out. Let's see. Transactions. All right. Transactions. Let's see here. So trying to see if it would showing what they're buying, but I'm trying to see if I can see like a cash deposit because it jumped up big time. All right. But anyway, those are some of the perks you get. All right. So this is their dividend payout. Okay. It's not getting them a huge amount of dividends payout. But those are some of the perks you can get. All right, let's go to our Q&A section. All right. So the Q&A section is going to consist of some of last week's videos that I did that didn't have any audio in them. But let's start with some of this week's. Let's see where we are. All right. So my good friend Alan said, this was 5 days ago. He said, yes, much better. Oh, and I believe this is referring to audio because I asked to reply when I did this video. I said, thank you for the response. I hope tonight's video will be louder. All right. Brent says, once again, thank you for all you do. YieldMax is paying the bills. Yes, sir. If you have Robinhood, you should have gotten this paid shortly already. But if you got Charles Schwab, you would have gotten it earlier this morning. Love Your Life says sound is still low, but way better than the last one. I still have to use speakers to hear. Maybe an audio compression issue. I said, thank you for your reply. Let's see if tonight is louder. And I'm trying to talk a little bit louder and I'm closer to the mic too. And I did find something in my settings. So let's hope this is going to be louder for you. All right. So this is last week's video. He says, what happened to NVIDIA? And so what I did is I Googled that and basically just put that information in here because personally I don't know because I don't really follow that one per se. So all right. The best says I could not get ETH. Apparently Wells Fargo's disapproves of me buying it. They wouldn't let me buy USOY either unless I call it in. And I don't want to bother with that. It's so 90s. And I said, yeah, I'm with you on that. I wouldn't want to call to buy or sell an ETF. I'm going to start a cash only position in my Charles Schwab account, and ETH is one position I believe I'll add. All right. Once again, Love Your Life says your volume is extremely low. I mean, to the point that I have to plug in speakers and turn them all the way up. I think you may need to do a mic level check in your settings before starting a video. He goes on to say that Misty was the only one that was close to what Snowball had on my dividend calendar. So I think I'm getting that he's using snowball analysis as well. He said, and even it was a few dollars off. But until Trump stops acting a fool, the market will fall, rise, and then still sit until he decides to continue to his promises to destroy the economy so he can remake it the way he wanted. They as the wealthy elite. I said, thank you for your response, sir. Thank you for your response, my volume, sir. On my volume, sir. I said, yes, really like Snowball Analysis, the dividend tracker, best one that I've used thus far. I agree the market doesn't like uncertainty, but this is where we are. We're going to ride it like a bull rider. Let's go. So that means we got to stay on there and stay with it. There's going to be some turbulence. All right, so that's all of that one. Okay. All right, so 88585 said, I already have Misty, and after seeing what you reported, it seems as if SMCY is a good option. What do you feel about it? All right. So I said, I like SMCY because of the high yield, like Misty. SMCI is the underlining, and SMCY is YieldMax version. I said, I've had some, I meant to say Dave had some reported issues with their accounting firm, I believe it was, and it caused some major issues with their stock to fall bigly. Now it seems things are back to normal. Supermicro Computer, that is. I would buy both SMCI and SMCY. Now all of that, this is my opinion, and it's worth nothing. SMCY has a dividend yield of 94% and paid $17 per share in the past year. The dividend is paid every month, and the last dividend at the time was April the 10th. Carlos says, fire your man. Thank you. Let's go. Stay tuned. Autopilot Investor says, new subscriber here. I might have missed it in a past video, but I would like to see you do an in-depth breakdown of your portfolio, what your overall goals are, essentially why it is what you are doing, and what the future outlook is on your portfolio, and where you will be in 5 years. Also, I would like to hear your opinion on margin investing and how it is boosting your portfolio positively or negatively. Thank you, sir. And I'll try to remember that pilot and try to address that. I think I vaguely addressed these in some of my videos. I did reply. I said, thank you for subscribing. I try not to ever ask people to subscribe, but I'm grateful for you and all others that do. And yes, I do cover those topics in various videos and have mentioned them in comment section of others. I will, if the Lord's will, use your questions and put them into a video format. In the meantime, if you haven't read my channel description, please feel to see the following. Okay. Excuse me. Brent said, YieldMax is paying the bills. And I think this is what happened. I clicked on this link of this video is by Bad Financial Decision, and it played the video, right? And we heard it, right? But after I stopped watching the video and the video concluded, there was no audio. So I think something switched over when I played this video because it was coming out of my speakers versus going through my microphone. And I think that swapped over, and I didn't realize that when I was recording the video the last time. So we won't do that now. If we do, it won't be the whole entire video. I said, man, I just checked out the video and it's fire. Loved it. Forgot she has another channel. And I said, YBDC is a weekly, because I had said it was monthly in this video. So it's actually a weekly. Let's see. I think that's it. I don't think this is part of it. Let's see. Yep, it's 13 days ago. So we're going to wait a minute. Is it? Was it? Yeah. I don't know if this was. I think it was part of it because I remember this. 13. Okay. So King Lamont Family TV says, I'm down 27,000. I feel your pain in your voice. He says, sell the pops as we can sell and get cheaper on the rug pull. No joke, calling it. I say, yep. We just got to hold until the ride is over. It'll turn right. That's what I'm saying. When I get to the margin, when I get to a certain point in margin level, I'll be just fine. And so he replied, not NAV erosion with YieldMax ETF, but certain stocks can for sure pop. For example, GME and SoFi. He says, I'm betting on for sure to juice up the margin to buy the dip and hold. SPY is a no-brainer as well. And SOXL, the semi, going to rip. I bought the dip a couple years back at $7. Crazy ride. Just got to buy the bottom. I said, I got you. GME, short squeeze. Yeah. With future Bitcoin buying for sure. I've heard others talking about SoFi for sure. I don't think you can go wrong with catching stocks at the price right now at the 52-week lows. Instant profit. My good friend Alan said, thank you, man, for all you do, sharing your journey. You have provided a lot of information for me personally. Thank you. Also, thank you for sharing your faith. I said, you're very welcome. Sharing the good times and the bad times in the financial journey of mine, trying to grow daily with my faith in Christ. There is blood in the streets. Oh, this is Angel. Angela said, there is blood in the streets right now. It's murder on the dance floor. Of course, we all know this was 2 weeks ago, so just a little late, but I'm covering the Q&A section. I said, yes, indeed, another one in the books. He said, ETH. So we'll address this early in our comment section. Love Your Life says, sadly, this market has not hit bottom yet. The last time a U.S. president pushed tariffs the way this guy's doing, the U.S. went into a Great Depression. I believe it was around 1930, 1928. This time it will be a greater depression, and the only people that will be relatively unharmed are the wealthy ones that he promised to make more wealth if he slithered back into office. Remember, he and his owner Musk stated that they might have to destroy the economy in order to make it the way they want it. Goodbye, middle class. By the time the market recovers, the U.S. will be the haves and have-nots. I'm selling Nvidia and splitting between SMCY, Misty, and XRP. Might be on. I don't know how to pronounce that one just yet. All right, I said, yeah, I'm down 40% year to date. So I didn't expect to fall like this, and I didn't see it coming. Last year, from August to December, I was doing pretty good, and I expected to continue that or better going into this year. Going from growing my account from 30K to 70K in the last 4 months of last year to now seeing it to a low of 20K. This has been a learning experience with margin call a few times. Once I hit this margin once I get this margin to a low level or to zero, I'll begin to take advantage of these low prices. All right, Gary said, it's not good anymore, my brother. My portfolio is hemorrhaging money like an artery that has been sliced wide open. 6885 replied, says, brother in Christ, when the street bleed, you feed. You now know the best time to buy. I said, man, you telling. I had to ask the Lord to help me stop the bleeding. Talk about putting salt on the wound. I also replied, that's why I'm holding. I should have said, that's why I'm hoping to get my margin to a manageable level to take advantage of these low entry points. Because when things move out, I'll be very happy. I did that. Either building a current position up or starting a new position at these lows will be golden. Now today, the market did drop. Let's go back. The market did drop 1,000. Oh, let's go to Yahoo. That'll show us where was that at. It's not showing here, but it did drop, I think, $1,000 today, and we did pretty good as far as holding up. You can see today, of course, we did get a little dividend, but we didn't drop a lot. I think we went down a few hundred, went up a few hundred, but we was doing pretty good today. So getting this margin down to 35, that was pretty good. I'm gonna just continue to pay it down. All right, so I had mentioned this video here. I said, what is XYZY? And he said it's SQY, name change. And I still ain't looking to figure out why that is, but I need to figure out why they did that. All right, let's get to some of our shorts. All right. All right. So Kevin watches says, what app is that? And I said, it is snowballanalysis.com. Great video. He's talking about on this chart right here. Eric says, like your channel, but you're using corrupt Robin Hood that took the buy button away with GME AMC squeeze is wrong. Robin Hood is trash. I agree. I feel your sentiments with them taking away the buy button with the whole GME and AMC thing. That was messed up. But I do notice that in the last 4 years, they've made some changes and improvements to the account, and they got this banking thing that they're going to be doing. Robinhood Go, supposed to be coming out sometime. But I said, yeah, I agree. And remember that investors talking about that. I myself do own the GME and AMC shares. He says, I am jealous of your dividends, though. I'm not hating. I appreciate your channel. And I said, oh, I get what you're saying, man. That jealous is in a good way. Plus, I have a small amount in comparison to others that I've seen or have heard. I've seen other positions in the community of snowball analysis that are crazy number of shares. I was trying to find it when I was in snowball analysis, but I couldn't. make my account seem small. And even the Khmer, there are people on his channel that's got 45,000 shares of OT. So it's crazy. Um, Buy Asset says, I love the content. I bought some new and more YieldMax this week. I asked him, that's music to my ears, and I said, what did you get? He says, I picked up the new one, CHPI, and I think this one is on, no, there's one on real estate. I don't think it's this one. And I got LFGY, and I already had OT, Platy, Misty, and YMAX. So I said, okay, so you have 4 weekly pairs and 2 core positions. I do have LFGY in my Weibo account, but it's less than 5 shares. So it's actually like 1 share because I was just testing it out. And I got several over there, just 1 shares in my Weibo account that I'm testing out. I was going to do my cash count in Weeble, but I think I'm going to change and actually put it in my Charles Schwab account simply because with my Charles Schwab account, I have my banks and my loans account already connected. So all I have to do is just transfer that money into those positions or into those accounts and make the payments. So I wanted to do it in Weeble, and I still may do a small position in Weeble cash only account, but it's going to be in Charles Schwab. All right. All right. So 5413 said, question, have you gotten a margin call contemplating if I want to use margin? And Juan says, don't use margin. He probably has gotten margin call using that much. It's safer not to use it. And I did reply. I said, best I can remember, I've gotten margin call 4 to 5 times. But I only had one time where they actually sold off because generally the market would recover, or I sold off a small position to cover the margin call. I said the last time, which was last week, was the first time they actually sold off some of my shares. A small position in Misty and SMCY and all of my AMC, all 300 shares, because those had the highest margin requirements. 60 and 100%. 100% was for AMC and 60 was for SMCY and Misty, which they've gone up on Misty to 70%. All right. He said, brother, speaking from experience, I use margin a bit, but only very small. He said, I use about 5K for 120K portfolio. He's been very cautious with it because if I had 120K, I probably use more. So yes, just what he stated up here earlier, he's probably used most of it. He's right. And I said, man, only using 5K should be good in comparison to my 50K that I was using. He said, sir, praying for better days. These past weeks have been tough. Man, I understand. All right. All right, here. He said, good luck, brother. I said, yes, sir. I said, I do think I'll weather the storm if I can get some breathing room for a period of time. I said, if the 90-day period pause holds true, then I'll just might, let me read my own writing here. If this 90-day pause holds true, then I might just be for sure. I'm not sure what I was trying to say, and get my margin around this amount here. He said, do you foresee Coney Misty being sustainable at the current dividend levels? With Coney paying its lowest, basically, I don't think they will. If they keep putting buying pressure on, they won't sustain the level of dividend payout. Misty might, but Coney definitely won't. Now, Coney will be getting like they got an earnings report coming up around May the 8th, I think. So if that's good, it could cause Coney to go up a little bit, or it could cause Coney to go down. He said, when is the bleeding going to stop? I said, I was hoping for a turnaround on Monday, but then I heard that on April the 9th, reciprocal tariff was going to take effect. And then this was something I posted that in a news article. All right. All right. APC said it may recover a little bit, but Wednesday it's going to get ugly with the new tariffs. And I was in agreement with him. So this is part of the conversation that we had. And basically I was saying and he was saying it was going to get down to $7 for Coney. And Coney, and see, is at 7 something. But if we go the last week or so, it came down and well, it actually came and hit 6 about 3 weeks ago. It came down and hit 650. So we had predicted 7, but it actually came down and hit 650. And that's basically what we were saying. Oh, all right. So this is part of the conversation. We just went back and forth, commenting one another. All right, investment 28 says I'm down 6K. I said, which ones are you invested in? He said OT and Nvidia. And I know Nvidia, if he's bought near when it was doing real good, he's definitely down in it. And OT, I know he's got to be down in it. I said, let's see what's in store this week with Coney. And on the 3rd, it will drop by the distribution amount. Coney's came back just a little bit, but it hasn't really just jumped off the charts. Okay, I think that's it. Let's go to our post comments. All right. Nothing there. This is the most recent video. Oh, I put this out there today when I got my dividends today. So that's gotten 8 likes. All right, let's go here. All right. My party man says, thanks for sharing. Straight to the point. I like your style. I said, thank you, Sarah. Stay tuned. Ham. I'm not sure what this is, his name, but let's go Ham for short. He said, nice. I said, getting money is nice. Trying to plant so I can enjoy the harvest. All right. Marie says, thanks. Can you do a video on what you think are the best YieldMax stocks for group A, B, and C and D? And I said, I mainly just share what I'm doing on my journey from $260,000 in debt to millionaire status. Stay tuned. I personally like out of the groups for the following. I don't know what I was trying to say there. But in group A, Tesla is one of the first ones, but I would probably stay away from Tesla right now, to be honest. We got YBIT, our group A that I like. Sound like a train. All right. Group B, I like Platy and Morrow. Group C, I like Coney and Corvana. That's the underlining. And group D, I like Misty and SMCY. I said, P.S. all those can change, but those are the ones I like. Around here, I like ETH and XPay. He said, thanks. Okay. 3138 said, I finally hit 1,000 shares of OT on fire. I said, see here. I said, see you're outpacing me with OT. I'm stuck at 400 shares because of the margin right now. But in due time, especially if OT can ever return to his glory day, she will be awesome. All right, let's see here. All right. Love Your Life said they all paid out slightly lower than predicted, but since the share prices have now gone back up, maybe the next distro will be better. And I said Coney would need to reach $10 to $11 before the next cycle for it to pay out to be better. I said Coinbase will have the next earnings, okay, May the 8th, as I was stating earlier. So hopefully that'll be good. Mike says, how much shares of Misty do you have? This individual said, it looks like she's got 1,000. And he said at $1,300, off $1,300, only 100, off $1,300 off only 1,000 shares. How is that even possible? He replied, this individual replied, 996 shares, 996 shares, 0.7 times 1.34 equals 1335.6 goals, bro, goals. He says, you're speaking like that's a lot of money. Get a grip on reality. He replied, I know, but I'm saying, how does it pay that much for so cheap of an investment? And then he replied, how could it afford to pay $1,300 to a million people? And then I replied, I had 1,000 shares until this past Thursday when Robinhood sold off 194 shares. And then I sold 39. So now I'm at 751 shares. Can't seem to keep 1,000 shares of Misty. He says, you better not sell no more shares. They projected to be $500 in 2030. Now, I wasn't for sure if he was talking about Misty or Mr., which is the underlining. I said the funds focus on one stock, Mr. Uses option strategies to earn a premium, which pays to shareholders. This approach can make the fund more volatile and cause it to perform differently than traditional diversified investments. I says, now you're talking about Mr. I can I can see it getting to 500, but Misty, not too sure about that. But if you're saying Mr., that will be 500, which will cause Misty to pay out some crazy dividends. He says, well, both, but Misty also projected to $470 for 2030. I said, send me the video link, please, sir. I would like to see more details. He says, YouTube keep deleting it, but Google future stock prices and you'll see. I have to do that. All right, Maurice says, nice Misty amount, almost close to what you received, brother. Yes, that's what I was just saying in this video. I started buying shares when I seen one of your short videos with the monster dividends. Okay, yeah, that was about, I think maybe $2,300 or $2,900. Thanks to your videos, I went all in and amazed by the dividends so far. I said, thanks for sharing. Stay sharp. Continue to buy low, especially for building up your position. My average cost just increased to 27, which I'm not happy about. I'll be able to bring it down, or I hope to open up a cash account, my Charles Schwab. He says, feel good to get paid. And as always, my brother, yes, you don't lie. It does. All right, let's see. Do we need to go to this one? 2 weeks ago? Yeah, we'll do it. All right. So he said, let's go. Last year, Coney would pay. Last year, Coney probably paid about 9,100 on 6,200 shares, 6,7,200 shares for dividends of an average cost of $1.50. But shaking my head, he said, I got $300 today. Let's see, $300 today. I know he said he had OT, Misty. I don't think he said he had Coney, but I think he was getting Coney. I said, keep grinding. Hopefully things will start to turn around. Shaking my head. Good money. I said, thanks, but this is the worst I've seen it. I would be getting about 10 to 15K a month right now. But these last 4 months and the way the market is going with the tariffs and stuff, not happening. Excuse me. Let's see if we can get another one, if that's appropriate. Yep, that's still within a 2-week range. So, absolutely, truly said, shame Coney keeps getting a haircut. I said, Coney is a bald shave right now. Shaking my head. Underestimated portfolio says, hey, bro, so if I sell my Coney today, would I still get my distribution? Maurice says, wait for the distribution, then sell first. And then I'm added some comments here myself. I said, sorry for the late reply. I see your comments, but if you sold on Wednesday, you would not get paid, I believe. But I know that the price has dropped more since you made this statement. I hope whatever you did works in your favor. I said, it depends on how much the price drops and the number of shares he had. If he had a large position and the price dropped a lot, it would be better to sell before the dividend payout if the depreciation is way greater than the dividend payout. All right. All right. Let's check this one out. See how far back that is. All right. All right. That looks like it. All right. So let's update. All right. So that video is 795 views. All right. All right. So this is going to conclude my video. I tried to go over the comments from the last video. Some of them I did just scroll through and didn't really speak thoroughly on them. But if you are watching this video, I hope the audio is louder. You all comments in the comments and let me know if the video is louder or if it's not, if you're still watching it at this point in time. And if you like the video, hit the like button. If you dislike the video, hit the dislike button. All right. This is YieldMaxMindset. I am out. You all have a good night. I will set this video probably to drop in the morning since it is 12:37 Eastern and 11:37 Central. All right. Y'all have a great one. I think I will just go and drop this video and get it out of the way depending on the times and stuff. But you all have a good one. I'm out. Bye.